All right, everybody. We have another returning very special guest for you this week. I want everybody to welcome back Jonathan Hedrick. What's going on, Jonathan?
Hey guys, thanks for having me back.
Yeah. Thanks for being back. And congrats on the popularity of Recount and Caffeinated Hearts and everything, man.
Thank you.
Yeah. And how did you do with the Kickstarter? I think we were still in the middle of it when we were talking about Caffeinated Hearts. How did that end up going for you?
Yeah, we fulfilled. It was my highest number of backers, and I think it was probably the maybe second or third highest dollar amount raised for any of my campaigns. So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it was very successful. We were able to do the really cool stretch goal where all the physical backers got the sample bag of coffee, which I really wanted to do. So that came down to the wire. But yeah, it was a fun campaign. Man, I'm not sure if I'll ever do coffee though as a stretch goal reward because trying to delicately fit that in a Gemini mailer, it was.
It's a pain in the ass.
The filament process was not fun. But yeah,
it was really cool. It was really cool to get it though. Open the book and then have a package of coffee. I'm like, oh, that was pretty sweet. Yeah.
I was trying to you think of the experience. You open up the Gemini mailer and hopefully it smelled like that coffee too. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it was a pretty cool little thing to do. It's better than just another sticker, another magnet. And I can appreciate all those stretch goal rewards because I've done them before too, and they have their place. But I wanted to go above and beyond while also coordinating, the cross marketing with my friends at Comics on Coffee, to get them some, more exposure too.
Yeah.
I want to put it on record that I believe Jonathan just called out Travis Gibb real hard right there. So just put it out there.
There you go. Uh-oh. Now we're starting some podcast drama, Chris. Careful there.
My refrigerator's full of Granite State Punk magnets and expired magnets and Voodoo Nation magnets. I got Voodoo Nation coasters all over the place.
Oh yeah.
So Travis Gibb is single-handedly keeping everything magnetized on my refrigerator, and I have no wet rings on any of the surfaces of my apartment.
Thanks to Travis. Brought to you by
Travis. Yeah.
Yeah, he always throws in some awesome extra stuff with his campaigns. So we're talking about Caffeinated Hearts. Let's talk about the future of that. So that's up for pre-order right now through SourcePoint, right?
That's right. Yeah. So it'll be in their August previews August catalog, which the online part goes a little bit is available sooner. So that I'm really excited about that. First time being published by SourcePoint Press, and
that's cool.
I just happy that it gets another life. It'll have a new cover by Stefano, the interior artist. And I couldn't be thrilled more. My goal is just to get these books out there to everyone's hands, be it crowdfunding, publishing, me, going door to door to people's houses if I have to. So any means necessary.
So you talked about that. I was going to ask you, is there any changes being made to the book? So you said the whole new cover?
Yep, a new cover specifically for SourcePoint Press is released, but the guts stay the same. So no one's going to be getting. There was no editing that needed to be done. No extra material, but a fancy new cover and another release for it.
Cool, that's awesome.
And for anyone that didn't listen to the prior interview, what was Caffeinated Hearts all about?
So it what I like to call a slice of life comic book story that takes place in this coffee shop set in a cyberpunk backdrop, and it's 4 individual vignettes that are interwoven with the barista at that coffee shop. So it's a little bit Tarantino-esque, if I may, but I think it's a cool comic book that you're not going to have to follow for 12 years to get the whole story. I like coffee table comic books, and it's a lot easier to afford to produce those too.
Yeah. So it's safe to say this is just the one shot, and you're pretty much done with the story. You think?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to rule out a follow up, but that would also be a one shot too. There'd be a common thread between the two, but it wouldn't be like exactly the same or anything like that. I wouldn't call it like a number 2 issue.
Okay, cool. And you got something else coming through Source Point, right?
That's right. It's called Hyper Aware. That's with the artist on my other book, Quicksand. Her name's Deborah Lanchinese. And I'm really excited that one got picked up, especially by Source Point Press, because this one we didn't crowdfund. Deborah reached out to me back in December for a script so she could draw something to be entered in this comic book contest in her home country in Italy. So she reached out to me and said, "Jonathan, I need a script. I'll handle everything. You don't have to pay me for drawing it or coloring, lettering. I'll handle all this stuff. I just really want to win this drawing tablet. That's the grand prize for this contest." I'm like, "Yeah, sure. Give me 2 weeks. I'll get you a script," because I already had the story in mind. Just needed a reason to do it and the funding for it since she was going to do it for free, So wrote the script for Hyper Aware, 24 pages in about 2 weeks. Gave it to her, and she penciled, inked, colored it, and lettered it, including a cover as well, in 30 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's insane. What the hell?
Yes.
Oh my God.
And she submitted it to the contest, and the contest kept delaying the announcement of who won, which was really annoying for us, as we saw like more entries getting placed beyond like their posted deadline.
Yeah.
But we won. We won
Awesome.
in the pro category, and Deborah got the drawing tablet.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So
That's awesome.
And also it was she translated it into Italian for this contest.
Oh,
so
wow.
I wrote it in English. She translated it when she was
Holy
lettering
shit.
it to Italian, and that's how it was submitted, and it won. So I like to pat myself on the back, saying that I wrote a comic book that won an Italian comic book contest.
Right.
But she gets all of the kudos because she did like 98% of making that comic book.
Wow, that's so impressive.
Yeah, so the deal was, I get to do what I wanted with it. So I said, well, why don't I just shop this around first? The first publisher I had in mind was Source Point Press, and they picked it up, which was great. So
that's awesome. So what's the premise of Hyper Aware?
These 3 astronauts are stranded in deep space. Their spaceship was hit hard and damaged badly by like an asteroid field, and now they can't return home with all 3 of them in hypersleep. So only 2 of them can return in hypersleep. So one of them has to draw the short straw and stay awake and essentially live the rest of their life in traveling back home to Earth. But the trip is still longer than that, so they'll have to die on board. So a tough decision has to be made, and then when the 2 astronauts that were lucky enough to go into hypersleep wake up, they find that something really, really bad happened while they were asleep. So I don't want to give away any spoilers, but it's another 24-page one-shot. And yeah, those 2 books, Caffeinated Hearts and Hyper Aware, both come out 1 week from each other in October.
Oh, that's so cool.
Yeah,
that one sounds right up my alley right there.
Yeah, I need to read that.
Thank you.
If I've learned anything about, long distance space travel, it's never get in the hypersleep pod.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing ever good happens waking up from those hypersleep or whatever. Yeah.
Right. Nope. Yeah, I definitely drew on my, me being a fan of aliens and, a lot of those cool 70s, 80s sci-fi stories with a little bit of like Black Mirror in it too.
Yep.
So
that's awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
And is that just You said this one's a one shot. Is that one also just a one and done?
Yeah,
Or is
that's a
that
one
more of
shot
a
as
series?
well. Unless I'm up for anyone throwing a bag of money my way, and I'll make it an ongoing series.
Yep, you heard it here.
But as long as I'm still project managing and funding these things, or crowdfunding them too, I got to make them easy enough so people aren't waiting for a conclusion to a story. That's why some of my other series are 5 issues, 4 issues, because it's hard to do when you're supporting the entire thing.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And it's easier for you from like a portfolio standpoint, right, to hand someone a complete finished one shot and just be like, here's a taste of this, here's a taste of, slice of life comic, sci-fi comic. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. So when I'm tabling at a convention or signing, I can just bring a couple of things instead of having 48 variant covers of the recount. I could have a little bit of everything for different taste profiles.
I'd still probably grab the variant covers too, though.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Still,
I'm very grateful for all those exclusive and variant covers for the recount. They have made the light stay on in my home a few times. So yeah, super grateful for that.
What was your reasoning for going to Source Point first? Was there something there that really drew your eye, or business reason, or?
Oh yeah, a little bit of both. It was more of just seeing how they support their indie creators. I follow a lot of small press publishers. It just makes sense to do that when you're an independent creator. And I just saw them. They're not just promoting their titles. They're not just promoting the number ones and then forgetting about issue 2 and 3. You see their creators are in the front of everything. And that means a lot to me. So I want to have that type of backing and support when I'm trying to, promote my book as well. So, it goes a long way when you're not being the only one that's part of the marketing department.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, Chris and I are huge fans seeing, smaller publishers really taking off and getting cool stories and reaching out to great writers like you. So
yeah, I appreciate that.
And another one we like, Mad Cave.
Mm-hmm.
With how Nottingham kind of just blew up over the last year, and everybody's picking up that book. Right. I think it's on issue 9 now. But so talk about what you're going to be doing with Mad Cave.
Yeah, so I was approached to add a story to their anthology called Lower Your Sights, which is raising money and awareness to a foundation called Voices of Children, which helps children in Ukraine who have been impacted by the war over there. So Chaz Pangburn, their senior editor, who I've crossed paths online with, because he's done a lot of stuff at Scout, reached out to me and said, "Hey man, I got this anthology. I think it's right up your alley. It's going to be published by Mad Cave. Here's the downside. I need the entire thing completed within 30 days. Can you do it?"
Oh man.
And I'm like, I'll get it done somehow, man.
Yeah.
So I wrote this 6-page story. All of the story, all of the themes are intended to be military themed, yet not Sergeant Rock type, not your Michael Bay movie type military themes. It's supposed to be like the side of war that people don't typically see. So I drew upon my own military experience and took a moment in my life from when I was in basic training and adapted that into the 6-page story. And my buddy Gabriel Ibarra Nunez, who is the artist for most of the first volume of Recount, he stepped in and knocked down those 6 pages very fast. And then his friend Cody, who's also from Chile, knocked out the colors really fast. and we were able to turn that in with time to spare for it to be lettered as well. So I'm just super happy that I got to be involved in that project. It's a pro bono type deal. I paid for the art, the coloring, but I'm not getting any type of percentage back whatsoever. This is strictly just to help support those in need in Ukraine. So it's probably the biggest thing that I'm proud of that I've done so far to date. So I hope everyone can pick up a copy of that. I mean, you're getting they even pulled in artists from Ukraine to do pinups and things like that in it. So
that's so cool.
Yeah, it's such a noble project. I'm really glad that Matt Cave is doing it. It's a lot to say to them to take the time and pull from their own resources, their editors, graphic design, all this stuff that they have, and then putting that into something that they're not going to, really see their return, monetarily speaking, right away.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah, really happy that I got to be a part of that.
Wow.
Have they announced who else is going to be in there with you?
Oh yeah, the list is so long. I mean, my name is like in the fine print. When I saw the first graphic for it, it reminded me of like one of those rock festivals where they, it's like Metallica, Slayer, and then like at the very bottom it's like some band you never heard of.
Yeah, they're on
the band you never heard of.
You're not on the main stage. You're on the small stage.
Right. But yeah, they have a lot of great big talent there. Matt Kine, as you probably know, Leanna King is Dave Chisholm. I could go on and on. It's a lot of cool people on there that I'm fortunate enough to have be listed in the same anthology as. So
yeah, I think it's a great effort on their part, and like you said, that's something you can always be part of.
Right.
That you have, that's so cool.
Yeah, definitely.
And that's up for pre-order, you said, as well, right?
Yep. It's been in July previews. I think the final order cutoff is until for a few more weeks, so people can still ask their local comic shop to pre-order it, or they can pre-order on Mad Cave's website. I know there's 2 covers through Diamond, like a main cover, a retailer incentive, and then Mad Cave's website has like a exclusive online on their web store cover too.
Oh, okay, very cool.
That's great. And the other 2 books are going to be in the previews coming out
for August.
Launches today.
Yes, yep, absolutely. Yeah. So yes, please ask your LCS to pre-order Hyperware and Caffeinated Hearts, as well as, of course, Lower Your Sights.
Yeah, great. Jonathan, thanks for coming back, man. We always
thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah. If our listeners, watchers want to follow you and all the stuff you're doing, where can we send them?
Please go to JonathanHedrickComics.com. That's my self-run website, and I have links to all my other social media platforms from there.
And everybody, I will have the link to Jonathan's website in the show notes down below. I'll also try to get the previews links in the show notes as well, so you guys can just click on that. Hopefully you're using the previews app to order all your books because it's convenient and fun. Jonathan, for the 1,000th time, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
No problem.
And we look forward to the next time you're on.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.